Hello everybody, this is Money Mom. Welcome back to the channel. I'm really excited to say I'm doing a collab with one of my dearest, sweetest YouTube friends, Jan from New York City Saves Money. Her and I together came up with the idea of talking about financial mistakes we made during quarantine. After you're done watching this short video, I would sure appreciate if you would go visit my dear friend Jan over at Jan for New York City Saves Money. She's close to 1,000 subs and she could sure use your support. Thank you so much, and let me get started to talk to you about 5 mistakes I made during quarantine. Number 1, and I feel this one was really holding me back and was the worst financial mistake ever. You want to know what it is? Being negative and worrying about money. And I know many people can stress and worry about money, but when everything came down in March, it came out of nowhere and many people weren't expecting it. Well, I worried about worst case scenario and it kind of paralyzed me for a little while. And I had a lot of negative thinking, and guess what? None of that served me because I couldn't take small actionable steps being in that presence of all that worry. And so that was something that I wasted more time than I care to admit, was worrying and being negative about the situation. That's number 1. Number 2, not being prepared. I used to think having 90 days of savings was enough. Well, now I've upped that to have, and what I mean by 90 days, by the way, 90 days of expenses in your savings. I have now upped that goal to 1 year of expenses in my savings, and I am working on that as we speak, and I am more than halfway there. So that would be one way where I wasn't prepared. Also another way, I didn't have enough toilet paper or any kind of paper goods. I did have enough hand sanitizer though, and I didn't have enough of some types of medicines. I didn't have a thermometer. So there were other areas I was not prepared as well. So not being prepared for the unexpected. That's number 2. Number 3, this is a big one, and I'm going to tell you how this affected me. I didn't have updated electronics, and you're probably saying, well, Dawn, why would you need that? Well, because some of the work and the jobs that I had required me to have updated electronics, which, for example, Windows 10, and I didn't have that. One of the things I did have, however, was a smartphone, which I've had now, I think, a couple years, which is good, because if I wouldn't have had the smartphone, I wouldn't have been able to do any of those jobs, of the sanitizing jobs, because we were required to check in and fill it out with a smartphone. And when I started this YouTube channel a little over 3 years ago, I didn't have a smartphone. So I did have that, but I didn't have a Windows 10 computer, and that basically meant that there were many work-at-home jobs I wasn't eligible for because I didn't have the right equipment. Also, number 4, you guys know, I would say 65% of my income is project management. I schedule mystery shopping. Well, at first I was like just waiting for the mystery shops to come back. I was thinking, oh, we'll be back in business in April. Wrong. So I was kind of waiting for the work to come back at first. That did not happen. And now it is coming back. Most of my workload will be back by November, so that is really a positive thing. I didn't think it would take as long, but hey, I'm just grateful for what I do have. Number 5, I wasted time looking for work-at-home opportunities because many of them were not a good fit for me. And I did that for a couple weeks, and then I realized, and then I had the opportunity to do the sanitizing for Advantage Sales and Marketing, and I hopped on board with that, and that was a much better fit. So I basically wasted a lot of time looking, and that was not good because I could have been working during those few weeks. So those are the 5 mistakes I made. I can't go back and change them, but guess what? We learn from our mistakes. So let me know, during these last 5-6 months, what financial mistakes have you made that if you could turn the clock, you might do differently? And maybe share some things that you have done correctly during this time. If you find this information useful, please consider subscribing or pass these videos along to others. I have lots of other videos around the subject of finances and other things, and hope you find the information useful and interesting to you. Also, please consider subscribing or viewing my dear friend Jan from New York City Saves Money. You will really enjoy her. She's a fabulous person. And last but not least, please consider supporting me on Patreon for more in-depth videos. That's all for now. This is Money Mom signing off, and as always, I love you. Bye-bye.